Ahsoka, the episode opens up with a recap of the character Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Our primary objective is to escape this galaxy. It matters not whether Ren and Bridge are killed or stranded here.
Then why send 2 Force users after them and a couple of gunships later in this episode? Gunships that quite sportingly didn't bother to fire on the enemy. They just transported stormtroopers to get beaten up like putties from Power Rangers. The Force users that are here with ulterior motives. Balon is looking for something on this planet and is not interested in Sabine either. But they go after her anyway, for reasons. Why is he not going after the one thing he seems to care about and is instead going after someone he doesn't care about at all? I have no idea what that thing is that he cares about because it's another mystery box. The episode starts and Hera Syndulla has been hauled in front of a Senate committee and has to explain disobeying orders repeatedly and going after the bad guys. She lost multiple fighters and men doing it. Well, I think one was a Mon Calamari, but whatever. And she is told that her story reads like a child's fairy tale.
But this report reads like a child's fairy tale. Jedi. False Jedi. Star maps, star whales, distant galaxies. Honestly.
And what can this character mean? Why are they acting like the Jedi are a myth in this show again? This show is supposedly set around 5 years after the film The Return of the Jedi. How would anyone consider Jedi to be a myth at this point? It's 5 years since Emperor Palpatine and Vader ruled the entire galaxy. Leia is a senator, a very important one apparently, who this man knows, and her brother is a Jedi. The senator also says that there's no evidence of the Imperial remnants working together, and the Ranger chimes in with, well, what about what happened on Mandalore? With the slight problem that I have absolutely no idea how the Republic even knows what happened on Mandalore. None of them were even there. And then C-3PO turns up to bail Hera out after being sent by Leia, saying she ordered Hera to do everything that she did, so now the vote the Senate took apparently doesn't matter, and frankly none of this scene did either. And that was maybe about a fifth of the entire episode just wasted again. This was the 7th episode, and oh boy, it was a slog to get through. It was more of the same, characters doing things that make no sense given their knowledge and motivations, done purely to make the story limp along on a road to what is looking increasingly like nowhere. Watching it gave me a headache, a literal headache. Thrawn, complete with middle-aged spread, is supposed to be tactically very astute. In previous pieces of media, like the books, he anticipated enemy tactics based on prior actions, and used that to plan devastating counterattacks. But what I'm not accepting is that he anticipated Ahsoka still being alive despite being told that she wasn't, and that she would show up in another galaxy to find him in the mouth of an intergalactic space whale. He's supposed to be tactically astute, not clairvoyant. We are now 7 episodes down out of 8, and they've done so little with the time. It's like watching a show try to filibuster itself, and then when it finally got to something that I was interested in, Ahsoka facing Balon again, they strike poses, their swords clash, and the show cuts away to another scene. Do you think maybe, just maybe, I could watch the entire fight scene? They come back to it later, but this is one of the few things that's happened in the show that's even slightly been interesting, and it would kind of be nice if I actually got to see it uninterrupted. But some people are clearly enjoying the show. It got an award, the Critics' Choice Association Award, the Seal of Female Empowerment and Entertainment, so that's nice. But Mary Sue goes on to say, the Critics' Choice Association Women's Committee has announced that Ahsoka will be honoured with the Seal of Female Empowerment in Entertainment to recognise its positive female representation. Ahsoka premiered on Disney Plus on August 22nd and has received high praise from fans and critics alike. The latest entry in the Star Wars universe has significant connotations for the franchise, bringing viewers beyond the galaxy and delving deeper into Star Wars lore than most series. However, one of the best aspects of Ahsoka is that it is predominantly a female-led series. The Mary Sue there telling us that one of the best aspects of the show for them is not the story, but what the lead actors have in their pants. Disney may have just lost a reported $1 billion or so on failed shows, but I'm sure the shareholders will be more than happy that they got that award instead of dividends or a rise in the share price. Disney should maybe focus more on the entertainment and less on the female empowerment. They're supposed, after all, to be an entertainment company, not a female empowerment company. Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb are also giving Ahsoka good reviews for all the weight that carries, which is none at all. I'm not even sure how many people are watching this show. The viewing figures frankly don't look great, and these videos that I'm making about it aren't even getting many views. The worrying thing for Star Wars is, that sounds a lot like apathy. It sounds like people aren't even hate watching the show. It just seems to be the diehards, a few of whom always come along to downvote my videos criticising it, that are even watching the show. That and YouTubers making videos about it. And that's a lot like Gotham Knights was, except if the makers of Gotham Knights had made Ahsoka, Sabine and Ahsoka would have spent half of the show kissing each other. And I realise that these reviews may give the impression that I hate everything, but I don't. I really don't. I just started watching the series Hannibal again for maybe the third or fourth time, and it's such a good show. The first two series are amazing, but only if you can handle it being very gory and macabre. It's a series about Hannibal Lecter, and honestly it feels even better than I remember, because if you watch it back to back with something like Velma or The Rings of Power or Gotham Knights, the contrast is unbelievable. It would be like having a perfectly cooked steak after spending a month being force-fed stale cat food. Every acting performance in Hannibal is at least above average, with multiple actors being frankly exceptional in it. It's stylish, in places surprisingly funny given the material that's in there. It makes me laugh more than Velma did. I laughed several times as opposed to the never I got from Velma. The cinematography is exquisite. You could take stills from this show and hang them in a gallery without embarrassment. The story is compelling and brutal. It's a horror drama thriller that has better action when it does it than most action series I've seen in the last few years. And although they made changes to Jack Crawford, let's say, Lawrence Fishburne did such a good job that I can't even hold it against them. And they cancelled it. She-Hulk may be getting a second series, and they cancelled Hannibal. And both of these review sites have Ahsoka not very far away from Hannibal in terms of ratings, and that's an absolute joke. What was I talking about again? Oh, I was supposed to be talking about Ahsoka. Do I have to? Near to the start of the episode, Ahsoka is in training, watching old recordings of Anakin, and it doesn't look great when she tries to train. Watching it just leaves me wondering what would happen if she was clumsy and accidentally put a lightsaber through the hull of the ship at light speed. Rosario Dawson is not the most spry. She's 44 years old now. And has that lightsaber got a bend in it? Was that intentional? And I'm not sure why. And I'm not sure why Ahsoka is so fond of Anakin. He did turn evil and try to end her life multiple times. Ahsoka arrives in another galaxy and they come under attack immediately. They emerge inside a minefield laid by the Imperial remnants, so they decide to leave the mouth of the giant intergalactic space whale, and somehow the whale knows that they want to leave and opens up for them like it's going to the dentist. The baddie Morgan Elsbeth then scrambles more fighters that she got from somewhere to attack Ahsoka with. I don't know why she didn't use them a couple of episodes ago when they would have come in really useful. She just has more now because the story demands it. They need a space battle. Ahsoka hides in a space whale graveyard. The baddie witches detect where she's hiding when she tries to contact Sabine, who's now on the planet below with Ezra Bridger, who she found living with a troop of snail turtles last episode. So the baddies knew where Ahsoka's ship was and opened fire, but after that, they were just able to track her somehow in real time, even when she was moving. Don't even think about it, just enjoy the light show and the member berries. Don't pay any attention to very little making sense in this episode again. The bad guys, Balon and Shin, finally track down Ezra and Sabine, then Balon realises he can't be bothered fighting. He spent all that time tracking them down and then decided he just wanted to be somewhere else. So Balon just sends Shin, his apprentice, to go alone against Sabine and Ezra for reasons. I don't know why she doesn't just go with Balon to open the mystery box, because him taking this action that makes no sense should get both him and his apprentice wasted. Then Ahsoka turns up, fights Balon, pretty much wins, she has a blade at his throat, his hand stops her, but all she had to do was move her wrist, and if Shin had been here, Ahsoka would have had no chance. Balon says to Ahsoka, "You can't defeat me," despite the fact that she just pretty much did. And Balon is saved when Tenantbot, piloting Ahsoka's ship, for some unknown reason, launches an airstrike at Ahsoka. Just a full-on strafing run right at Ahsoka's feet. Yes, that's Ahsoka's own ship that's opening fire on her. Then all the bad guys run away. Everything they tried to do this episode failed miserably, and then Thrawn declared himself to be a genius when he could have done absolutely nothing and would have been in a better position than he is now. This is an 8-episode season. It's wasted most of the first 7 episodes. We barely know anything about most of the characters still, and what we do know was mostly from other shows and media. They've got 1 episode left now. Nobody's had anything I could describe as an arc. There's barely even been any character development. This is an 8-episode season, and somehow it's still managed to be too long. I kind of just want it to go away now, so I can go back to watching Hannibal.
What about the other Jedi spread across the galaxy?
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic...
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.